Hey everybody, this is Josh from CollectionDX.com here with a review of the Super Robot Chogokin Mazinkaiser SKL Final Count version. So this is from the Mazinkaiser SKL OVA, and this is the third version of Mazinkaiser SKL that has come out in the Super Robot Chogokin line. As you can see, it's got all kinds of accessories here going on. It's got the wing cross effect, which is nice. It's got the weapons. It's a little different paint detail, and just some subtle differences. So we're gonna go through this right here. The box is pretty nice. It's pretty typical, but these SRC boxes are getting large. All right, let's open this up. And inside we have the plastic trays, clear plastic trays. Instructions. We have two trays, one which has a Mazinkaiser SKL and his giant sword, and one that has the giant wing. Before we get into that, I wanted to show you some stuff in the instructions. Now check this out, so I can get these to focus. We have warning delicate, warning delicate, warning sharp, warning may rub off, do not misplace, warning sharp. Over here too, warning sharp. So, and it's funny though, the warnings are in English, which is great. But instead of I don't kind of buy it says warning may rub off. It shouldn't rub off. I mean, just because you say, oh, it might, be careful, it just shouldn't rub off in the first place. Which I haven't experienced any of that yet, but just a weird little nitpick of mine. I also wanted to talk about the phenomena of tray pop. So tray pop is when you are taking apart a vacuum plastic tray, and all the pieces just go everywhere. It drives me nuts that we haven't found a way to solve this yet, but see, look at that. All my accessories just went everywhere. And it happens almost every time. It drives me up the wall. So now I just gotta have parts everywhere, and then I have to figure out where each of them goes, which we will do in a moment. The core figure is very metal, and when I mean very metal, I mean if this were a band, it would be Lamb of God or Skeleton Witch or something. It's just black and heavy and sharp and aggressive in pretty much every way that counts. The back of the figure continues this angular design. Really, really awesome. Before we get into the weaponry, let's just go over some of the core aspects of the articulation here. It's pretty much the same body style as the previous Mazinkaiser, but it has a different head here because in one of the final battles in Mazinkaiser, it loses an eye. In Mazinkaiser, not with Mazinkaiser. But as you can see, very sharp and pointy. Nicely movable shoulder joints. The joint in here is actually super impressive from a design standpoint. You notice that there's the core ball in the middle here, but then there is a hinge that comes out. Allows you to just do really fantastic, amazing things with. It's got a huge range of motion. In here there's a double jointed elbow, which is great, and it has that little panel there that allows it to collapse in. Get that little click. Hands are on a ball joint, and also it still has that sort of rocket punch feature, which doesn't launch like a spring loaded, but it is removable should you want to pretend that you are shooting a rocket punch. Again, very sharp. For the chest, obviously we have, whoa, what happened there? It's not supposed to do that. Alright, nothing broke. Calm down, relax, it's okay. These pistols will come off when you remove the little skull piece in the chest. But for the chest articulation, I just wanted to show you, maybe from the back might be better, that there's a pull-up joint that allows you to really do anything that you want. The hips, we have really nice metal joints, which you can see what's going on in there. It's a metal rod connected to a multi-segmented piece The knees have, you know, pretty good range of motion. Not super double joint range of motion, but not bad. The ankles are good, but these also have a pull-out feature, so you can get a really great wide stance out of this. So you can really have them do some nutty splits if you wanted to. But what is Mazinkaiser without his weapons? This weapon is called the Ganzanto sword, and it has a extendable hilt, so you can wield it with both hands. But for now, we're just going to do the one. There is a holding hand. Not terrible. He can hold up. It's not so heavy that he can't hold up the weight of the sword. He can mount the sword on his back, but you need this connector here. And the sword will just sort of clip on, I guess. Yeah, clips on like that. And he can carry it around on his back if he wants to. We also have the breast trigger pistols. You access these by removing the whole assembly there. There's this little skull that pops off, separating the two guns. So you have the basic together. They're held. There's a sort of spacer that holds them together. It comes with its own unique extra extender part, and you can just hold on to it. So a couple things here. One, I'm not so sure that I like having the two pistols held together with this connector piece and then separate tips for the individual gun modes. I think they could have engineered that differently so that you could just keep them connected, because they do fall off a little bit. And also I found that the handle, as you've seen a few times, has a tendency to pop off when handling. So I found the best way to attach these guns is to just remove the forearms, you know, attach the handle first, stick the gun on it, and then put the forearms back on. But the breast triggers look pretty cool, and you can shoot with them. Okay, now let's attach the main attraction here, the giant wing, to the back. That obviously makes the figure pretty impressive looking. See? Drives me nuts. Just fucking snap on and stay on, for Christ's sake. $100 plus toy. You should be able to figure that out. Alright, so there we go. The wings have a really large wingspan, and they're actually more posable than you would originally think they would be. I mean, that's a pretty awesome spread there. And if you notice that there's a good curve to the edges of those wings, which may not be immediately apparent when you look at the pictures, but it's really dynamic. And that's not the only joint that you have there. You have one here, you have a joint going on here, and you also have a joint that goes this way. So if you wanted to maybe bring those more like that for save some room on your shelf, but obviously this is the way to go. It's just pretty remarkable, the look that this guy has. Now, while no Tamashii stand is included, there is a little adapter that you plug in just below the butt. There's a little hole there, so if you do have a stand hanging around, you can insert it like so. And if you could do some kind of flying poses if you had all the stand attachments. The head goes back far enough that it will do a good flight pose, I think. It's a pretty spectacular little robot. I gotta say, the die-cast is really nice. Has a nice feel of heft to it. Not all SRCs have that really good feeling of die-cast, but although I can't tell you what parts now are metal, there is just a lot of it. I can tell by the feel. Usually you can do the temperature test, but this guy's been warm for a bit, so, and that's a good sign when you can't tell the difference between what's metal and what's plastic. And that means they've done a good job, I think, with integrating the materials on the figure. So that's about it for the Super Robot Chogokin Mazinkaiser SKL final count version. I want to thank Angles for sending us over this review sample. You can, of course, go visit their site at angles.com. Support our sponsors, and it helps us bring you more cool things to review. So once again, this is Josh from CollectionDX.com. Hey, if you could do me a favor, hit the subscribe button or the like button, or share this. That would be really awesome. Helps get the word out, what we're doing. It helps us grow, and once again, that growth helps us bring you more cool stuff. I don't usually ask you guys to retweet, share, like, whatever, because it's kind of annoying. But every once in a while, don't forget we can do this because of you guys, and the more of you that watch these and share them and like them and subscribe, the more sort of influence we have in order to continue to build relationships with sponsors and bring you cool toys. So thanks again for that. We'll see you next time.